Have you ever asked this question? Why people get addicted to drugs? Why people get into depression? Why people kill themselves? Why do you exist in this world? Why are you here? What's your mission? What difference have you made in this world? What's your purpose? Have you asked any of these questions? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. This is Farookh Sensei from FarookSensei.com. Today, I would like you to join me on a journey to purpose. I would highly appreciate if you could remain until the end of this presentation. Why is it important to know our purpose in life? Let me start with a definition given by the great leadership guru, John Maxwell. He said, if you have to succeed, or if you want to succeed in life, the very first thing is to know your purpose in life. You need to find your purpose in life. You need to discover your purpose in life. That's the very first thing if you have to succeed in life. Know your purpose in life. Once you know your purpose in life, the second stage is to grow to reach your maximum potential. So the first one is knowing, the second one is growing to reach your maximum potential. And the third stage is sowing the seed for benefits of others, meaning sharing what you have, giving what you have. It could be either knowledge, it could be either money, or it could be coaching, it could be mentoring, whatever it is. But the initial and the most important one is step number one, is to identify or to know or to discover your purpose in life. What's purpose? Well, purpose is all about who you are and why you exist in this world. From a business perspective, purpose is all about your mission as an organization, as a team, as a department, as a company. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." Here the why stands for purpose. So he makes it very clear. The first day is the day you were born, and the second day is when you found out your purpose in life. Let's take a few examples here, very simple examples. Now, if I ask you what is a fork, well, you and I, we know that a fork is a utensil used in the kitchen. It's a kitchenware. But can I use the same fork in the garden to dig mud? The answer is no. Do I require a fork in the garden? The answer is yes. And that is a garden fork. I can't use my kitchen fork here in the garden. In the same way, I can't use my garden fork in the kitchen. They have their own purpose. A kitchen fork has its own purpose. A garden fork has its own purpose. If I take another example, if you look on the screen, we have got 4 vehicles, and all the 4, they ride on the road. If I want to go fast with one of my friends, I would be taking a motorbike. If I want privacy and I want to go or travel with my family of 4, I would opt to go in a car. If we are going on a party with 20 as a group, then for sure I can't fit into a car, or we can't fit into a bike. So therefore we have to hire a bus. And if it's only 3 of us, then I can hire an auto rickshaw. And what do you understand from this? Though the purpose of all the 4 vehicles are the same, is to transport people from point A to point B, but their individual mission is different. It's very specific. For 2 people, it's a bike. For 3, well, it's an auto rickshaw. For 4 to 5, it's a car. And for a larger number, it's a bus. I hope now we got what I mean by purpose. I'll give you one more example. If you look on the screen, you got 2 aircrafts. Both the aircrafts belong to the same company, which is Qatar Airways, which is a 5-star airline. And both the aircrafts are manufactured by the same company, which is Boeing. And the model is the same. It's a Boeing 777 aircraft. But the purpose of both the aircrafts are different. If you look at the first aircraft, it doesn't have windows, meaning that's a cargo aircraft, or what we call as a freighter. The second one has got windows. That means it's a passenger aircraft. If I take the one on the top, the whole purpose of that aircraft is to carry cargo. Whereas the purpose of the second aircraft is to carry passenger, cargo, mail, baggage, etc. Absolutely same aircraft, but the purpose is different. Therefore the design is different. The configuration is different. They don't know its purpose. Exactly correct, because the very simple answer when I ask this question is, an aircraft does not have brain. We as human beings, it's very hard for us to identify what's our purpose in life, and it's very easy for us to identify the purpose of somebody else. An aircraft does not have brain, so let's take an example of something which has got brain. Let's start here. Animals. Every year, animals, they move from one point to another. They migrate and they come back. Irrespective of whatever is going to happen, they would definitely migrate. They cross the river, and in the river you'll find crocodiles, alligators, hippos. It's very dangerous, but still they cross the river. They have been tuned that way, and they never change. It's not only animals. If you look at the birds, they too migrate. There are particular type of birds, they migrate. When the season comes, they migrate, and nobody can stop them. It applies to penguins. It also applies to butterflies. They migrate. It applies to crabs. The roads are blocked, and you'll find boats saying that now it's the crab time. It applies to fish too. Now the question here is, what about human being? Does it apply to human being? Do we migrate from one point to another? The answer is yes, we do. But we don't migrate like the animals. We migrate from point 1 to point 2 when there is an emergency. It could be a war, it could be a flood, it could be a tsunami, it could be an earthquake. When there is an emergency, then yes, we do migrate. But we don't migrate every single year like animals or birds. We need to understand that we have a choice. Success is just a choice. It is our decision whether to go or whether not to go, which track to take. It all depends upon our choice. It all depends upon our decision. Some of our decisions that takes us straight into the dark when it does not align with the purpose. We got to make sure that our decisions are very well aligned with the purpose. Some decisions brings light. It takes us from the darkness to the light when it's aligned properly with the purpose. The Creator has created every person for a purpose. Each and every individual in this world has got a purpose in life. Whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, a teacher, an electrician, a fireman, every individual has got a purpose. Every living being has a purpose, whether it's a plant, whether it's a bird, an animal, and every article and every substance in this world has got a purpose. And the Creator of the heavens and the earth has created everything in this world with a purpose. And it's all good for the human being and the universe in general. Everyone has his own specific mission in life, and it is our responsibility to find our purpose in life, including a karate teacher. He would be having his own purpose, and the purpose is to teach the discipline, how to survive, how to fight, not with an opponent, but to fight with ourselves. This incident happened between 1833 and 1896 in Sweden. This was a Swedish gentleman. A Swedish gentleman, he was sitting on the chair, reading his newspaper. His brother had just passed. He picked up the newspaper and he went straight to the obituary column. To his surprise, he didn't see his brother's photograph, but he found his own photograph there, and he was shocked. And the heading said, "The Dynamite King dies." That's right. In fact, he is the person who invented dynamite. And the message went, "The merchant of death is dead." He felt so bad, he asked himself, is this the way people would remember me once I actually die? He said, no, this is not what I should be. This is not my purpose in life. I need to change. Just after this particular incident, he introduced a prize in his name. I'm not sure whether you remember his name, but I'm quite sure you remember his surname, because the name of this prize is his surname, and his name is Alfred Nobel. This incident changed his life completely. Today people know him as the founder and the creator of Nobel Prize. which is given for peace, literature, economics, medicine, and science. One single incident. That's the day when he found his purpose in life. That's the day when he rediscovered his purpose in life. That's the day when he identified his purpose in life. The question is, what's your purpose? Let's say you are sitting in a rocking chair. You're healthy, you're fit, your family members are around you, you're watching TV, and then somebody comes to you with a medical report. You have just gone for a medical test. You had been at the doctor a couple of days back. And here is a report from the doctor, where you'll find crosses everywhere, and a special note from the doctor to you, which says you'll be fit for the next 6 months, but we have no guarantee that you will be alive after 6 months. What would you do? What comes in your mind? What flashback is running through your mind now? Would you be the same person, or would you change? Ask yourself, what would you do? What would you repeat? What would you repeat which you have been doing all these years? What would you do differently? What would you change? Something you have never done before. What would you stop? You think that, well, this is not good for me. I got only 6 months more and I need to stop, and let me stop this right now. What would you stop? What would you complete? What are those urgent things that you have to complete? What would you prioritize? This reminds me of Stephen R. Covey, his 7 Habits. In one of the chapters, he speaks about those things which are urgent and important. You got only 6 months. What is important to you and what is urgent to you? What would you complete? Ask yourself. What would you learn? When I say learn, I'm not talking about going to school, college, or university. What is that you will learn? Something new which you haven't learned till now. What would you buy? What would you shop? What would you have for yourself? Or what would you buy for your loved ones? What is that? You got only 6 months, so what is that gift that you would buy for yourself? What is that gift that you will buy for your loved ones? What would you earn extra? You have to meet a lot of demand, and you don't have enough money, so how would you make that money within 6 months? What is that extra you would do to earn extra? What new would you experience? Something that you have never done before, and it is one of your passion to do, but you couldn't do it. It's not necessary that you have to jump from a plane, do paradiving, or skydiving, or parachuting. It could be very simple as sponsoring a child. What new would you experience? What would you do with your wealth, the belongings that you have? You've been earning all these years. What is that you're going to do? Are you going to leave it where it is right now, or are you going to give it to somebody else? What are you going to do with your wealth, with your belonging, with your car, with your asset, with your property, with your house, with your share? What are you going to do with all those things? Because for sure you can't take them along with you, and you've got only 6 months. What would you do with your time? You got only 6 months, and what would you do with your time? Would you still continue what you were doing? Sitting on the couch, watching TV, eating, sleeping, again watching TV? Would you repeat the same, or would you change? What would you do with the knowledge? The knowledge that you have gained all this year, either from school or college or university, or your experience. Are you going to take that along with you? Or are you going to share that to somebody else? Nobody can steal your knowledge. You have the key to your knowledge, and you have to give it to somebody else. What would you do with your knowledge? Or are you going to finish yourself? Why should I wait for 6 months? Let me finish now itself. Is that what you're going to do? Make a list and take action. Make a list of all those things that you will be doing, and then take action. Because you and I, we don't know when the clock stops, when the heart stops, when the brain stops. But one thing, before taking any action, start with the why. Start with the why. The question is, why start with the why? Very simple, because why always connects with your purpose in life. Why is a very powerful word. By using the word why, by asking the question why, you get into your purpose. It takes you to the purpose. People ask me, what's the difference between a goal and a purpose? Well, it's different. Goals are meant to serve your purpose. Your purpose does not serve your goals. Let me give you a couple of examples. Very simple examples. What's the purpose of a school bus? Well, you and I know it's a safe transportation of school students from home to school and back to home. So here the purpose is safe transportation. That's the purpose of the school bus. And what's the goal? What's the goal of the driver? Is to pick all students on time and reach school on time, and vice versa. So we got a goal, we got a purpose. And if you look on the screen, you can clearly understand that the purpose is different and the goal is different. Now what happens if the focus is more on the goal, not on the purpose? You've got to be very careful now. Let's take an example here. To reach on time, that is the goal. To reach on time, the driver compromises safety for speed. Now there is no alignment between the goal and the purpose. That should never happen. That should never happen. The importance is always on the purpose. Let's take one more example here. The purpose of a taxi. Same like the previous case, safe transportation of passengers from point A to point B. What's the goal? And here in this case, let's take the driver's goal is to generate $500 in revenue a day. Now if the focus is more on the goal, meaning if the focus is more on the $500 and not on the safe transportation, that would be the condition. To generate $500, the driver compromises safety by overloading the taxi. I hope you got it. You can goal is different and purpose is different. Your goal should always be aligned with the purpose. The goal should always be aligned with the mission. Success is not about what you have. Once again I repeat, success is not about what you have. Success is all about what you do with what you have. Success is all about what you do with what you have. Let's break it down. Success is not about the amount of money you have. It's all about what you do with that money. I hope you got it. You might be having millions of dollars or billions of dollars. No, it's not what you have. It is what you do with what you have that makes a difference. It is not the time that you have. It is what you do with the time that makes you a winner or a loser. It is not the health that you have. It is not the physique that you have. It is what you do with that health. It is not the knowledge that you have, but what you do with that knowledge. You can either make a rocket with that knowledge, or you can make a bomb with that knowledge. So it's not the knowledge that you have, it is what you do with that knowledge. Would success make you happy? The answer is absolutely no. Success never guarantees you happiness. The great motivational guru, Zig Ziglar, he defines success. Let's break down his definition into two. The first portion of his definition is, success is not measured by what you do compared to what others do. Once again I repeat, success is not measured by what you do compared to what others do. You should not be comparing yourself with somebody else. If you start comparing yourself with somebody else, you will be sad. You can't compare an apple with an orange. As simple as that. He continues from there. He says, it is measured by what you do with the ability God gave you. In other words, rather than comparing yourself with somebody else, you got to look into yourself and ask yourself, what is the skill you have? What is the talent you have? What is the ability you have? And are you using that? Are you using your health the maximum? Are you using your potential the maximum? This is exactly what John Maxwell said in his definition. Know your purpose in life and then grow to the maximum potential. And that's exactly what Zig Ziglar says here. It is measured by what you do with the ability God gave you. So never compare yourself with somebody else. The picture of success isn't the same for two people. Each and every individual has got a different definition for success. It is based on your experience. It's based on your culture. It's based on your age. It's also based on which part of the world you live. For me, success would be different than the definition that you have. If you look on the screen, you've got two circles. One is an A and one is a B. You might be having similarities in many things, but not all the same. Why is that? Any idea? Very simple reason. Because we are created differently by the Creator. You are unique and I'm unique too. Absolutely different. There is nobody like me in the world, and there's nobody like you in the world, because you are unique. You have to respect yourself, and I have to respect me. There's nobody like you in the world, so be proud of yourself. Nobody can be you, and nobody can be me. Happiness is not in what you do. I repeat it again. Happiness is not in what you do. Happiness is when what you do is aligned with why you do. Happiness is when what you do is aligned with why you do. Here again, it has to be aligned with your purpose. When I say purpose, the question is why. There is no age bar when it comes to purpose. Some identify their purpose very young, and some they identify when they are in the mid-age, or sometimes in the later part of their life. It doesn't matter. You have to look for your purpose in life. Let's take an example here. Suhash Gopinath. While he was 14 years old, he started his own company, which is the Global Incorporated. He used to go and sit in the cafeteria. He didn't have money, so he used to go and sit there and work on the internet. He started an IT company. He is also considered to be one of the youngest global leaders by the World Economic Forum. His IT business as an entrepreneur has got branches in US, India, Canada, Germany, Italy, the UK, Spain, Australia, Singapore, and in the Middle East. Now what's his goal? His goal could be to make millions of dollars every year. But what's his purpose? Very simple, serving people. Isn't it right? Let's take another example here. These two brothers, they found a company called Go Dimension, while the elder was 10 years old and the younger was just 9 years old. It's a mobile application software they found. Now what's the goal? Maybe to have millions of subscribers who subscribe their application. And what's the purpose? The purpose could be again serving people, making life easy. Let's take another example. Sepan. While she was 14, she found a company. She found her purpose in life. She is the fastest 2D and 3D animator in India. Now why am I showing all this? Do not compare yourself with them. Understand you are unique and they are unique too. Just like you can't compare an apple with an orange, do not compare yourself with any person, any people, any picture, any figure, any personality that I'm showing in this presentation, because you are unique. The first round of funding was rupees 1 million from a company named First Planet, an IT company. Just understand there are lots of IT companies in India. But this IT firm, they gave their project to this young girl who was only 14 years old. Understand, it's not the age. Age has nothing to do with purpose. You got to find it. You got to find your purpose. You got to find your mission in life. You need to ask, why are you here in this planet? Michael, when he was 10, he graduated from college, and when he was 17, he earned 2 master's degrees. He also won $1 million in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Today, he teaches chemistry. He found his passion. He found his purpose in life. Let's take another example here. Bala Murali, one of the youngest doctors in the world. He became a doctor when he was 17 years old. Again, don't compare. Understand you are unique and he is unique too. To be a doctor at the age of 17, wow. Freddie Adu, the youngest professional athlete at the age of 14. He found his purpose in life. Jordan, the youngest to climb Mount Everest at the age of 13. He, along with his father and his father's girlfriend, this is the first family in the world to conquer the Everest. Since he was too young, he was not given permission to climb the Everest from Nepal. Therefore, they had to climb from China. And the route from China to the Everest is more dangerous than from Nepal to the Everest, on top, Mount Everest. But they took the one which was much more harder because he was not given permission to climb from Nepal. He has conquered all the mountains, major mountains in the world. Today, his passion and his purpose is to coach other youngsters, to motivate them, to inspire them to climb high, to see high, to have a vision, to believe in yourself. He found his purpose. Jessica Watson, the youngest person to sail around the world at the age of 16. Just imagine crossing the waves, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the dangerous sea, all by herself at the age of 16. That was her passion, that was her purpose in life, and she achieved it. Yuto Miyazawa, the world's youngest professional musician at the age of 11. Now let's look at the other side. Hulda Crooks, who is also known as Grandma Whitney. After her retirement, she thought to herself, what should I do now? It has always been my passion to climb mountains. I couldn't do it. Now I'm free, I'm retired. Let me go back to my dreams. Let me conquer my dreams. If we look here on the screen, you'll find this mountain here, which is called Mount Whitney, which is 14,505 foot tall. She climbed that mountain peak, or in other words, she conquered that mountain 23 times. And she also conquered other peaks 97 times. And the US government named this peak with her name, which you can see here, it says Crooks Peak. Understand, my dear friends, it is not the age. You can find your purpose even if you're old. It doesn't matter. It has to be connected with your heart. Whatever you do must be connected with your heart. And the best way is to ask why. She is the oldest one to conquer the Mount Fuji in Japan, which is 12,400 foot. Here's another example. His name is Farookh Sensei. the turbaned torpedo. At the age of 100, he completed marathon for 8 hours, 25 minutes and 30 seconds in Canada. When I say marathon, I'm talking about full marathon, which is more than 40 kilometers. I'm quite sure those who are listening to this presentation, you are younger to him. The question is, would you run like him? He found his passion. He found his purpose. At age 101, the very next year, he ran in Hong Kong. He is the torpedo. He is the turbaned torpedo. Anne, at the age of 95, she goes back to school and graduates her school. She didn't look backward. She didn't look how many years or birthdays she had spent or completed. She just focused forward. She looked at the bright side. She was 95 and then she completed her school graduation. Understand, it's not what you do with your time, it's not what you do with your life. You have to enjoy that, and it has to be connected and aligned with your purpose in life. It is not what you have, it is what you do with what you have. One of the best examples that you and I know is Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders retires in age 65 with just $1,000 in his hand. From the Social Security, he had nothing else. Other than the $1,000, he had only a recipe with him, a chicken recipe. He goes to more than 1,000 shops, restaurants, asking them to buy his recipe. You don't have to pay me, you just have to pay me a franchisee. You take it and just have a franchisee. None of them agreed to him. And it was 1009th shop which agreed to buy his recipe. He never gave up. He never ever gave up, because his purpose in life was very clear. If he had given up, today we won't be having KFC in the world. My dear ladies and gentlemen, understand, when you connect with your purpose, you will never ever let it down. Why you do what you do. Please write it down. Why you do what you do. Let's take an example. Now, the gentleman you see on the screen is called by a nickname, the Spider-Man. He's from France. He climbs all the tall buildings in the world. He normally doesn't have any protective gear, but whenever he does with their sponsorship, they ask him to have the gear, the security rope, etc. He has also conquered the big, tall building in the world, which you can see behind him in Dubai. Now the question is, you can see him exactly on top of the same building, and you can see the public down like dots. The question is, why they do what they do. Now, when I'm talking they, I'm not talking about one individual. There are a lot of people like him. So the question is, why they do what they do. Write down, take a paper and write it down, why they do what they do. And the next question you got to ask is, would you do what they do? Sounds scary, am I right? Would you do what they do? If your answer is yes, write down why. Why would you do what they do? And if your answer is no, then write down why not. If you keep on asking why, it will take you to your purpose in life. If you ask me whether I would do what he do, my answer is no, because that does not connect with my purpose in life. Each and every individual has got a different purpose in life. My purpose could be different than his, or my purpose could be different than yours. Why they do what they do. Keep on writing. Take this as an example. Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Now here I'm not talking about amputated legs or arms. I'm talking about helping somebody else, supporting your team member. That's what I mean here. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Here I'm talking about exercises irrespective of what age you are. You can be a teenager, you can be in your 20s, you can be in your 70s or in your 80s. Would you do what they do on a daily basis? Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? Reading books for your self-development. Going to the internet and spending your time listening to good things, understanding, developing, growing. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? Eating healthy food, vegetables and fruits. Why they do what they do. Happy family, spending time with the loved ones. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? Because your why would be different than their why, and their why would be different than my why. So why? If not, why not? Why they do what they do. Argument in the house, in front of their kids. Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? Why they do what they do. Here I'm talking about teamwork, helping each other. The easiest, the best, and the quick way is to help somebody else succeed. If you help your teammate to succeed, you as the boss, you as the leader, you as the manager, you as a department, you as an organization, you grow, you develop, and you succeed. Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? Why they do what they do. Would you behave like that? Stamping on your employees, on your staff, on your colleagues. Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? Why they do what they do. Would you do what they do? When there's a traffic block, would you react or would you respond? This is a part of a reaction. The traffic in front of you is helpless. So what is the purpose of being angry? If the whole purpose of you driving was to reach office on time, then it is your responsibility to leave your home well in advance, ahead of the time. Why they do what they do? Would you do what they do? If yes, why? If no, why not? I get questions like people saying life is like a lonely boat. It drifts from left to right. Don't know where to go. I'm lost. There are people who say I'm lost in the crossroad of life. I don't know whether I should go to the right or the left, or which road to take, which route to take. Do you experience the same? Some people, they say that I'm stuck in the same place, in the same position, same job. I have experience, I got knowledge, I got my training, I got my certification, I got my license, but still I'm at the same position. I'm not moving forward. What should I do? Do you fall in this? I'm looking for a meaning to life. I'm in the dark right now. I'm lost. Do you fall in this? I'm looking for a change in life, but it never happens. Every time I think to change, every time I plan to change, it never happens. The situation does not allow me, the environment does not allow me, my family does not allow me, my job does not allow me, my health does not allow me, the time does not allow me. I have got hundreds and thousands of excuses, but I'm not ready to change. It doesn't happen. I'm looking for a change. Do you fall in this? I have everything, but I'm still missing something. I don't know what is it. I don't know what is it. I have a family, but there is no connection. I have bungalows, I have cars, I got millions of dollars, but there's something which is missing, which I don't know. Do you fall in this? I feel empty. It's just like a jewel box without jewelry inside it. It's empty. Don't know where to start. I have no idea. Where can I start? Do you fall in this? I don't know where to go. I don't know my purpose. I don't know my destination. I don't know to which side should I go. Should I go to the right? Should I go to the left? What job should I take? What trade should I be in? What track? What studies? What courses should I take? I have no idea, because I don't know where to go. I'm lost. Are you looking for a purpose of life? Are you really looking for a purposeful life? If your answer is yes, then ask. If you are really looking for a purposeful life, and if your answer is yes, then ask yourself why you do what you do. If it is not aligning with what you do, you got to change. Ask yourself why you have what you have. If the things that you have is not aligning with your purpose, then you got to change. Ask yourself why you are what you are. If if it is not aligning with your purpose, if you yourself are not aligning with your purpose, then you got to change. The golden rule of success is do what you love and love what you do. But start with the question, why? You can do whatever you like to do, whatever you love to do. It could be photography, it could be writing, it could be a blog, it could be writing an article, it could be writing a book, it could be journalism, it could be painting, it could be oil painting, water painting. You could be a chef, you could be a cook, you could be a soccer player, a sports person, you could be a speaker, a singer, a teacher, a professor, a lecturer, a guru, a coach. Whatever you are interested in, take it. Whatever you love, there should be a connection between what you do. If there is no connection between you and what you do, if it does not meet the purpose, then better you change. You change your job. You change your job, you change your location, you change your profession. Whatever you choose must be connected and aligned with your purpose in life. Don't be like a man who digs the well. Now here you can see a gentleman digging the well. He took his time, he took his patience, he dug the well, and he found a few drops of water. One day his boss comes in and looks down, he peeps down and asks him a humble question. Why? Why? What is the purpose of digging this well? And he answered with joy, Sir, I'm looking for water. If we have a well, we can get water from this well. We can fetch water from this well. And do you know what the boss said? The boss said, my dear friend, before digging the well, you should have asked me, because we already have a tap. Sometimes we go behind our purpose. We take the wrong route. We go far away and then realize that we have taken the wrong route without any reason. You've gone somewhere else. You have to see the purpose. Is it connecting to you or not? If you are in a corporate organization, make sure that you consult with your manager before you take any decision. Discuss with them, take their opinion. If you are a family person, then make sure that you take opinion even from your family. Ask opinion from your wife, ask opinion of your husband, ask your kids' opinion, because what you think and what they think could be different. Their purpose could be different and your purpose could be different. So align your purpose for the happiness of your own happiness and the happiness of the family. Make sure that it meets your mission in life. Nothing in the world is built without a purpose. Even the Taj Mahal has a purpose. It took 22 years to achieve the goal. Shah Jahan, the emperor, had a purpose. And even today, after centuries and centuries, it still stands there. The starting point of all achievements, the starting point of success is why. It's a purpose. I call purpose the GPS of life. You need to know your track, and then you have to follow your track. An idea without purpose is meaningless. Even if it's the best idea, it is meaningless if there is no purpose in it. An action without purpose is meaningless. And a life without purpose is absolutely meaningless. Whatever you do in life, you must have a purpose. Even watching this presentation must have a purpose. You should be asking now, why am I sitting here? It's nearly an hour. Why am I spending my time here? What is the connection between me and this presentation? How is this presentation going to help me? Is it going to help me as an individual? Is it going to help me in my profession, in my career, in my family? How? Why am I sitting here? A potter, he takes the clay to make different things, different items. Clay of different colors. He makes towel, he makes flower pot, he also makes the teapot. All made by clay, different color, but the purpose are different. Different purpose with the same clay. Jewelry, toys, decor pots, chimney for the smoke. The Creator gives it a shape, the shape that He wants, and He beautifies it with different color. Every shape, every color, every size has a reason, has a wisdom which is known to the Creator and which is unknown to the creation. The same applies to you and I. You have a different color than mine. I have a different skin color than yours. I'm different in height. My shape is different. Because the Creator has made you and I. Because He has the wisdom which you or I don't know. The pot has to go through soft and hard times. We too. Sometimes the pot breaks. We too. Some pots after breaking still they give lives to others. What about you? If you're broke, you become a failure if you don't get up. Each time you fall down, you gotta get up. People would throw stones at you, stones with words, hard words. A winner is the one who holds that stone and builds a foundation out of the stone. Understand you are unique, and I'm unique too. There was a broken pot with a small crack. An old lady took that pot, tied it with a wooden rod she had with her. She took another pot and tied that pot on the other side of the wooden rod. She walks for kilometers and fetches water from there. She brings water to her home. By the time she reaches home, there is not even a single drop of water in that cracked pot. But she never gave up. Every day, every single day, she walks, and she walks and fetches water. She fills both the pots with water. She walks back again. By the time she reaches home, there is not even a single drop of water in the cracked pot. One day the pot said, it's enough, let me talk to the old lady. pot calls a lady and says, "Mom, I'm very sad. I'm very sad because I can't meet your purpose. You carry water in me. By the time I reach here, there is not even a single drop of water in me because through the crack, the water drains completely. It spills all over through the crack. But still you carry me. I'm feeling so sad." The old woman said, "My dear pot, you are a crack. There's a crack in you. But that crack is a blessing." The pot said, "What?" The old woman said, "Yes, that crack is a blessing. You didn't know that because it's a blessing. Sometimes the crack that we have, that's a blessing to us, but we don't identify it." She asked the pot, "Tell me, pot, which side of the rod do I carry you?" And the pot said, "Yes, on the left side." The grandma said, "Pot, open your eyes and look down." And when the pot opened its eyes and looked down, it could see flowers on the left side. The grandma said, "You have a purpose with a crack. You are responsible for the thousands of flowers and plants. It is your crack which fed them. It is the water that I carried in you which gave them life." My dear brothers and sisters and my dear friends and colleagues, understand. Sometimes we might break in our life, but be strong. Get up, because there's a purpose in everything. Our purpose in life should be nothing but to worship. By worship I mean act of goodness. Every act and every thought of goodness is a form of worship, including a smile, including picking a small piece of object, sharp object from the road, from the path. That's worship. Kissing your kids is a worship. Hugging your wife is a worship. Giving charity is a worship. Just a smile is a worship, it's a charity. The word worship comes from the old English word worthship, which means giving worth to something, i.e., doing what we do with a sense of worthiness or respect. May our thoughts and actions bring peace, happiness, and harmony in our inner world and our external world. Find your purpose. Discover your purpose. Identify your purpose. Ignite your purpose. And live your purpose. My purpose is to inspire people. My purpose is to transform lives. My purpose is to create champions. That's my purpose. What's yours? Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for giving me a company. May this journey lead you to your purpose in life. If you require any sort of assistance, any sort of help, just give me a call. It's 00974. I'll repeat it once again. 00974 55 3825. Please do visit my website. It's farookhsensei.com. Please leave your feedback. Let's live with a purpose. May God show us the true path. You take care. Thank you once again for joining me.